society, why are we losing our children to senseless crimes and prisons? Should our children be tried as adults after committing a crime? Hello, everyone. I'm Lisa Freeman talking about this issue in hopes of saving our children. I hope by the end of this discussion, you too will feel the urgency for change. In my opinion, children are being charged as adults in many states without regard to the ramification of sentencing. Many of our youth receive sentences and are never given the opportunity to begin life again and become productive participants of society. In 2005, the Supreme Court banned the death penalty for juvenile offenders on the grounds that youth offenders exhibit characteristics of immaturity, irresponsibility, and decision making is often clouded and contributed highly to by peer pressure. When children are forced into adult prisons, they are exposed to prison violence because children and minors are at a disadvantage both mentally and physically, and they tend to become victims to sexual assaults and often seek suicide as a way out. How did we get here, and what needs to be done to bring about change? In 1997, many states began to review cases, and at this time, the cases are reviewed in the juvenile court system. The decision was made to allow judges to make the decision to make recommendations if these cases could be heard in juvenile court or if these cases needed to be transferred to criminal court. The juvenile's attorney has the right in some states to make a rebuttal to such decisions, but in many states, the judge solely makes this decision. Consider this. Many juvenile offenders fall into one or many of these categories. 79% reported witnessing violent acts in their homes. 46.9% experienced physical abuse. 77.3% of girls reported sexual abuse. Consider social and economic disparities. 31.5% lived in public housing. 17.9% didn't live with close relatives. Punishment isn't always the answer. Many therapists believe that punishment is often a failed strategy for changing behavior. In our society, we need to consider teaching new skills to these offenders or developing new, more positive attitudes instead of the mindset of if you do the crime, then do the time. Support and change are key. Consider what would happen if implementation of programs were implemented to help teach youth a new trade or to help offenders get a GED and possibly prepare for college. 61.9% of state-supported prisons don't even offer GED programs. Envision this. If this was an offender, receiving a life in prison sentence was one of your family members, a neighbor, possibly a former student, or anyone under the age of 18 that you may be an acquaintance of who makes a bad decision, how would you feel? Change begins now with myself and you. What can I do? Be an advocate. Write to both your local and state legislators and make them aware that as a society, we're seeking change on behalf of youth offenders because we all deserve a second chance. At this time, I'd like to thank my audience. Here's my audience tonight for coming and listening to my speech. And I would also like to ask if anybody has any questions at this time. That's it.